I wouldn't say I'm a religious man, but I am a very spiritual person.
I used to be in my youth, yeah.
Not sort of conventionally religious, no. I do somehow believe in some form of God, if you like, or some form of higher being. And I've always been fascinated by religions, and I think everybody knows that.
And I'm figuring out that it's not about being perfect in any area. I read something from Salvador Dali where he said, forget perfection, you'll never reach it. I love that.
But I can't follow any one specific religion.
Somewhere in the darkness, I was able to find a lot of light in a lot of things again. And I wouldn't recommend going to the kind of depths that I went to try and sort of find myself, whatever that's supposed to be, but it's certainly not necessary. There are other roads to take.
Obviously, I think we're sounding and performing better, I think, than we've ever done in our career. I think the added musicians we've got really make the sound a lot fuller. I think we're able to do things differently very easily.
I'm not sure, really. I mean, I think that Alan was a very important part of our band before he left. But I think that we've managed to work in different ways, and in some ways it's challenged us and made us do things differently. I think before we got sort of set in our ways, and now we work with different people, sort of each time, and I think that's good because it pushes us.
And now with Peter Gordino and Christian Eigner actually playing these instruments with us, like Christian on drums and everything, we're a different band. Now in the future, what I would like for us to be is kind of a revolving door. Basically, Martin and I are what is the creative, musical Depeche Mode, and what's left of it. And that's become much clearer since Alan has left, and the last couple of albums. And what I see happening in the future, if Martin is up for it, is that we leave the door open to bring in other people, whether it's Peter Gordino and Christian or other people like that, that they can lift and take the songs and my voice and what we do together to other places.
Well, I think these days we're a mixture of a lot of things. We do play some music that's could be termed as electronic. We play some rocking tunes like I Feel You and some dance tunes. We really are able to mix it around a bit.
And what I've really loved about this tour, for a lot of it, is the fact that Martin has become a completely different kind of performer on stage. When he straps a guitar on and when he wants to, he does some great things and just has fun up there. And I no longer feel like it's kind of like, this might sound arrogant, but whatever, like the Dave Garn show,
I think one of the things that's always a bit weird, when you're stuck behind a keyboard, it's very hard sometimes to look that hip. And obviously with the guitar, you can move and you can look cool. And I think Martin enjoys the fact that he's got a guitar rather than standing behind a keyboard.
Funnily enough, I don't really have guitar idols. I was thinking about that only the other day. I was playing Even Serpents Shine by the Only Ones, and I thought the guitarist really sounded fantastic. And that's the first time I've thought that about any guitarist for ages.
I think, I think I'm happy, but we work hard, and as when you have a family and you have lots of responsibilities, you sometimes think that life is very complicated. But generally, I think I'm pretty happy. Yeah.
Happy? Yeah, I think I'm a very happy man.
I've always felt that. I've always felt that we were freer, we were less inhibited by what we should be See, I come from a place where like I was into going to see bands long before really I was into buying records. I got interested in the whole punk scene and everything, the whole energy of it. And I saw what was going on there and how like a band like The Clash could just make the whole place explode with their energy. That's what I bring to the energy of Depeche Mode live. You know, I can't sing, but I got soul, and that's what I want to throw out there.
I think I prefer making music, and it's not quite as stressful. I think when you're actually in a studio and creating music and making something special and making something new, it's you know, for me it's just a bit more interesting.
The average age of the audience, I've got no idea. I've got no idea. We seem to get new people, which is great. It means that we're doing something that is, we're doing something musically that's still appealing to a new audience. That's really important to me, and I know it's really important to Martin as well.
You know, there are now a lot of people coming with their children, you know, and then we've got, you know, 16-year-olds still coming. We still seem to be attracting young fans as well.
Plus there's a lot of fans that we've picked up, of course, you know, over 20 years. It's really a completely mixed audience, age and everything, you know, and we're very proud of that.
But they're still very, especially in Europe, very heavily dressed in black. It's still a real cult thing going on. I mean, even the mothers coming with their children are also dressed in black.
That's amazing, yeah.
That is a real European phenomenon. In America, the audience just looks like anyone else's audience. But here, we have a, you know, it's such a cult thing. I think for quite a while we suffered from the syndrome, the pop syndrome, because we, you know, started out as a real pop band, and that hung around our necks for ages, so it didn't matter what we did after that, people wouldn't take us seriously. And it's you know, I've realised now that we're going back and we're playing some old songs. We've started throwing in some songs into the set that come from, you know, 1986, and for me they're really good songs. And I think, you know, a lot of our fans obviously have realised that we have had good songs over the years, and sometimes I've felt that I haven't really got, you know, as much credit as I should have done for that. But you know, you can't. What can you do? It hasn't made me too sad.
What does your mother call you, Fletch or Andy?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Mm.
When did the Fletch thing start?
Well, I think most Fletchers are called Fletch. You know.
Oh, really?
It wasn't my original nickname. My first nickname was Flush. Flush Fletcher. I won't go into details why they called me Flush Fletcher. I only saw someone who took managed to get a still of it, yes, but I can't remember what it said, no. And it comes up so quick, I think it'd be very hard. I mean, you would know, you wrote it.
Do you know what it says?
I've never read the text for that, no. I only have to sing the chorus. It's pretty easy for me to remember the words. Why, what does it say? There's always a lot of tension. Yeah, for me, I think Dave gets it quite a bit as well.
Terrified, yeah.
And does it disappear?
It doesn't really disappear. I don't know at what point it does, I guess, dissipate, but I don't know what point it does that.
You know, I do get very nervous every night before I go on, and it takes me quite, you know, a few songs to start to relax and get into it. But then most nights I do really enjoy the actual performance.
There's a slight element of nerves, but you know, sort of an adrenaline buzz as well. So it's, I mean, you just, especially the tour has been so good and the concert's been so good. There's a sort of buzziness about you. You're anxious to get on because you know that the concert's going to be really good and fantastic.
Oh yeah, quite often I'm wondering if room service is still going by the time I get back to the hotel.
Yeah, quite often. I quite often think, I could die right now. I have bizarre thoughts go through my head, things like that, you know. But I don't think that's very normal. I don't think normal artists think about death while they're performing.
No, certainly not. No.